DRS, I'm a space cadet, running so fast that my face is wet. Tears running down when I'm facing it. So this is real life, now I'm tasting it. All these chances slipping by, now I'm wasting it. Barely learned about myself, did I make it yet? Yeah, you know my inner peace is tenuous, and my insecurity is tempestuous. I'll always have wolves on my doorstep, committee of vultures on my lawn, got more threats, waiting just to feed on the meat of my self-doubt. I'm shaking as I'm feeding them, seeing myself out. I'm leaving the best out, leave it all on the stage, like a Molotov cocktail being thrown in a rage. Macho man body slam, 20-foot steel cage. I'm the man with the plan, I'm creating the change. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, indeed, Toronto. It is Friday night.
10 o'clock in the PM, and you know what that means. It is time for the prophecy here on CIUT 89.5 FM. I am your host, Valiant MC, bringing you non-stop vocal drum and bass goodness here on the University of Toronto airwaves. We have a very special guest tonight. John Rolodex joins me for a little interview as well as a guest mix, which you are going to love. It is also time for celebration here at the Prophecy, as we have added three new hosts to the team. Hailing from New York City, we've got TRAC, MC Track, who is a globally renowned recording artist, best known for his album and work with V Recordings. His album, Life in Motion, is a bona fide classic at this point. He's worked with everybody. I mean, everybody. We also have RMS, one of the most prolific and respected producers out there. He's gearing up for new releases this year, and it's going to be a banger for him. And of course, we have MC D2, aka Dickie D. The voice is known all across Toronto, all across Canada. He's graced the stage at Outlook, and he is the host of choice of the Department of Civilian Dance and Last Planet. It is a happy day here at the Prophecy. The first tune you heard was by myself and Embers of Light, entitled Everything Changes, off of his LP of the same name. And the tune that you hear right now is called Dio by Toronto's own NC17. So we're going to get into this. We've got about another 45 minutes of non-stop vocal drum and bass. Tonight I went a little harder, a little rougher than I usually do. Not as much liquid drum and bass, liquid funk, soulful stuff in the mix. It's more hard-hitting. We're going to get into a little interview with John Rolodex. Not real long, about 15 minutes. And then it's going to go right into his pretty badass mix, if I do say so myself. So Toronto, I hope you enjoy this one. Kicking things off is going to be P Money and Whiny. This one is called Savior, along with MC Wiser. By the way, if you go out tonight, make sure that you keep each other safe, keep yourself safe. Don't drink and drive, and blast that drum and bass. This is the Prophecy. Here we go.
What? We don't follow the flow. We created it. 89.5 FM, Real Radio.
Yeah, daddy went around, so I used to play up. I was a robber trying to blend in as a raver. I still did things when I didn't wanna take part. Just trying to see my dough rise like a baker. In the city, there's no love for your neighbor. The postcode war used to be major. I could have been in jail or a graveyard. This kind of mad, but music really was my savior. They listen to me rap and know it's not a game. I'm ashamed, I used to be a robber and popping chains. It weren't about being a gangster, was about the pain of seeing your mum struggle just to buy you clothes and games. Just trying to make some money, hurting people weren't the aim. Being a bad boy is just someone in fear of your ways. They put that shit on TV and it's stuck inside our brain. Then we go do what we just saw and they call us insane.
Then we go do what we just see and have to bust a case. Man, I'm busting movements round the road to get P just in case. My family couldn't support cause we're in tougher days. But how you gonna handle all this guilt when trying to stuff a plate? Though I've made a few mistakes and I have made it to rock bottom. Had to switch up what my aim was and then really start to blossom. So don't ever throw no tarnish on my name cause I really ain't bothered. Man, I come through like Catherine Tate from the council estate, but I'm living at Boris.
Daddy went around, so I used to play up. I was a robber trying to blend in as a raver. I still did things when I didn't wanna take part. Just trying to see my dough rise like a baker. In the city, there's no love for your neighbor. The postcode boy used to be major. inside a cell, flipping hell. That's what it felt like, cause no one tried to help. Police were out to get me, they charged me and dropped everyone else. 6 months on tag and summer playing with my mental health. Didn't even do what they were saying, I just didn't tell. Mother sticking by me taught me about values and family wealth. I stopped blaming others once I realized I went by myself. Stop for a second, try to picture me. Early scenes, fighting a broken system that's blaming me. You should see how many others are living just like me. Can't believe I was in court during my GCSEs. They shut the youth clubs, normal social spots, we roam the streets. I see them lock up people that I knew and throw the key. Real struggles, people fighting just for things to eat. Ain't many vegans in the hood, cause all they know is beer. Daddy went around, so I used to play up. I was a robber trying to blend in as a raver. I still did things when I didn't wanna take part. Just trying to see my dough rise like a baker. In this city there's no love for your neighbor. The post-Cold War used to be major. I could have been in jail or a graveyard. It's kinda mad but music really was my savior. Daddy went around so I used to play up. I was a robber trying to blend in as a raver. I still did things when I didn't wanna take part. Just trying to see my dough rise like a baker. In this city there's no love for your neighbor. The post-Cold War used to be major. I could have been in jail or a graveyard. It's kinda mad but music really was my savior.
Yeah, so this one is Sub 10, Eloquin, and the one and only Harry Shada. This one is called Televised. Something tells me everyone out there is going to like this one. So listen close, everybody. This is The Prophecy.
Started from the bottom, now I open up the gates. See the other side, I could have folded, didn't break. Paranoia had me thinking everyone is fake. Now I'm staring in the mirror with the legends and the greats. Didn't understand it, but they told me that it's fate. The universe has spoken, so I guess it's never late. Every move I make, I got them terrified. On the stage with the gang, this is televised. Still official with it, represent my borough. North London in me, man, you know I keep it thorough. Still go the extra mile, I'm shutting down the summer. I'm a DMB, undercover lover, you know. If you ever knew the mission that I took. In the dungeon, we don't do it by the books. My life's a freestyle, now I'm dishing out the hooks. And when I'm signing out, I'm phoning Thomas Cook. Everything I've seen, everything I've done, I feel it in the air, I've already won. Look into my eyes, what you see is numb. When I'm taking compliments, I just raise a thumb. You don't understand me, you don't have to understand. These pagans try to stop me, so they cause a traffic jam. I'm jumping over cars, I'm from T, I'm going ham.
Gotta pick myself up again and keep that fire burning. I'm on my F's when I flex on the set, it's higher learning. Reaching for higher understanding, still I'm out here earning. Stacking that sterling, but dead in the night I'm tossing turning. State of the world is concerning, that's why I'm reaffirming my own beliefs that we need to do more, I'm so determined. To raise the consciousness of listeners from here to Berlin. Knock down the walls and see a world of magic like I'm Merlin. Militant with my mindset resilient. Resonate with my resume to make content that's brilliant. Link up with like-minded minds, when it comes to bars I got billions. Leaving a legacy in the industry to inspire millions. Next generate pass the torch, make the cameo back and forth. Round and round we go forth and back and then back to back with this truth I talk. I really walked the walk, I've really took it there. The knowledge I've been blessed with, I'm more than happy to share.
Paranoia had me thinking everyone is fake. Now I'm staring in the mirror with the legends and the greats. Didn't understand it, but they told me that it's fate. The universe has spoken, so I guess it's never late. Every move I make, I got them terrified. On the stage with the gang, this is televised. On the go, so you know I'm staying match fit. That was me at hospitality, I smashed it. On the premises, I've never been a catfish. In the fields, I'm a gunner like Patrick. It's true, man, I never had a plan. Flung it into sport, then I spun it like Shazam. Everywhere I go, you know I do it for the bands. When the phone line rings, that's another couple grand. Started from the bottom, now I open up the gates. Seen the other side, I could have folded, didn't break.
So this one coming in is by Vision Obi featuring Macau. It's called Wayside. Toronto, this is CIUT 89.5 FM, and this is The Prophecy. Let's go.
Survive, stay strong, fight, test your endurance until the morning light. Shiver down your spine, something in the air feels right. No rules apply, once in a while fall by the wayside. Game on, next move, rewrite the chapter. Change view, the aperture capture. The deep blue, be honest with yourself. Who's who? Many voices seem skewed, overwhelming choices. You choose, no spoilers or ruse. Pursue the origin, back to the hue. Run fast, hide in the undergrowth. Only the fittest survive. Stay strong, fight, test your endurance until the morning light. Shiver down your spine, something in the air doesn't feel right. No rules apply, every man for himself, fall by the wayside. Run fast, hide in the undergrowth, only the fittest survive. Stay strong, fight, test your endurance until the morning light. Shiver down your spine, something in the air feels right. No rules apply, once in a while fall by the wayside. The end is nigh, don't pretend the guys who befriend the lie. Life's for transcending time, I lend an eye, I got free so I bend the light. Surrender my mind, no hidden agenda, here to splendor when I speak what I scribe. No cheating tonight, contender swept aside by the wayside, wave with ride. Run fast, hide in the undergrowth, only the fittest survive. Stay strong, fight, test your endurance until the morning light. Shiver down your spine, something in the air doesn't feel right. No rules apply, every man for himself, fall by the wayside. Run fast, hide in the undergrowth, only the fittest survive. Stay strong, fight, test your endurance until the morning light. Shiver down your spine, something in the air feels right. No rules apply, once in a while fall by the wayside.
So next up is Rumble and DeMarco. It's called Mind Games. This one is remixed by Toronto's own Dungeon Crew, Dunk and Lion Dub. It is out now. All the junglists in the place, this one's for you. Toronto, this is The Prophecy. Let's keep it going till the midnight hour.
You look good, me look good too. You good, girl, me love good too. So stop going like me, you're the only man in your phone. Me know the chicks in the book too. Me I go touch by your first before you go do me the worst. Girl, me I go touch by your first. Boss, swear to God, take it to your church. Girl, you too light, too damn light. But after me alone, I roll you up high. But me not go watch a girl, cause me not that spy. Nah run through no phone, cause me not that guy. That's why me I go touch by your face before you go do me the worst. Girl, me I go touch by your face. Boss here to God, take it to your church. Them say me insecure, me don't care. Enough be carry pretty rims, boy. My girl, me I go touch by your face before you go do me the work. Touch by your face before you go do me the work. Me insecure, me don't care. Enough be carry pretty rims, boy. My girl, me I got touched by your face before you go do me the work. Now see your Instagram a running out. No follow DM 'cause them love me out. Me know you a go get up but not done, you know. Girl, you know me love you but I saw you go. Wicked, girl, you too light, too damn light. But after me alone I rode you up high. But me not go watch a girl 'cause me not top spy. Nah run through no phone cause me not that guy. That's why me I go touch by your face. You girl, from what the girl you start move lane. Come in at the yard, you know one cook and clean. Pitch up on the phone, girl, I be laughing. I text, girl, your finger soon spring. Me nah go make a girl a come full up my brain. Before me get my grade, me look Susie Nylane. Ask me about a girl, no see me no deny me. Come me like you want to play the mind game. That's why me I got touched by your face before you go do me the worst. Girl, me I got touched by your face. Boss here to God, take it to your church. Them say me insecure, me don't care. Enough be carry pretty rims, boy. My girl, me I got touched by your face before you go to me the worst. Them say me insecure, me don't care. Enough be carry pretty rims, boy. My girl, me I got touched by your face before you go to me the worst. Touch by your face before you go to me the work.
Another one for the junglist coming in, Shy Effects and Breakage. This one is called Rastafari. Toronto, you know what to do. Turn it all the way up. This is The Prophecy.
You ask I, who is Rastafari? Every eye stand Rastafari. I and I, Rastafari. I, Selassie I, Rastafari, the sun, moon and star. Rastafari is everywhere you are. Snow, wind, rain. Here comes Rastafari again. Selassie I, Rastafari, sun, moon and star. Rastafari is everywhere you are. Snow, wind, rain. Here comes Rastafari again.
So this one is called Do For Love, produced by The Unknown Artist. And if you don't know, The Unknown Artist is a catch-all for artists who make tunes that happen to not be under their own moniker. And this one's a good one. Toronto, listen up. This is The Prophecy.
I guess you wonder where I've been. I search to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let it go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me when I'm in for your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Some people go around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. And in my world, only you make me do what I'm worth not doing. Now my friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. Now I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't go. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. And in my world, only you make me do what I'm worth not do. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give
Closing in, we've got In My Veins. This one is by A Audio and Siren Rivers, and I dig this one a lot. I think you will too. Let's keep it going, everybody. This is The Prophecy.
See, life is for the making. Manifest your thoughts and start creating. Just learn to know the inner. Build yourself inside, cause you're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner. I feel it coming over. No love for all these devils on my shoulder. I'm searching for the truth. Nobody tell me what we gotta prove. We're living in dark nights, cold summer. Light shine bright, dogs bite for the come up. Hold tight, don't run up. Packing up the things that we're coming in, coming in. Dark nights, cold summer. Light shine bright, dogs bite for the tunnel. Hold tight, don't run up. Packing up the things coming in.
Divine peace, no mood, no borderline, no bulletproof. Good seed, bad fruit. No pain, no growth. Seek knowledge and it goes. No love, then goes.
Life is for the making. Manifest your thoughts and start creating. Just learn to know the inner. Build yourself inside, cause you're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner. I feel it coming over. No love for all these devils on my shoulder. I'm searching for the truth. Nobody tell me what you gotta prove. We're living in dark nights, cold summer. Light shine bright, dogs bite for the come up. Hold tight, don't run up. Packing up the things that we're coming in, coming in. Dark nights, cold summer. Light shine bright, dogs bite for the tunnel. Hold tight, don't run up. Packing up the things coming in. No love for the villains, enough for the killing. No worries so bidding, just turn up the rhythm. We smoking, we sipping, it's cool what you're whipping. Since I'm spitting, and if I put the tip in, chill for a minute, bread before business. Crumbs, don't be dumb, funds better be finished. Plans to make $1 million done, here's my witness. Find the sign, trying to find the
So right now we got Siren Rivers, Illmatica, and Scuff. This one's called With You. It is out now. I played the remix by Slater last week. This is the original. And that's going to be it for me, because right after this we're going to get into the interview with John Rolodex and then into his mix. Keep it locked, everybody. This is The Prophecy.
When I'm with you, it feels so warm. All the negative is gone. When I'm with you, we set the tone, and the view is beautiful. When I'm with you, it feels so warm. All the negative is gone. When I'm with you, we set the tone, and the view is beautiful.
Yeah.
When I'm with you.
Look, let's have a conversation. conversation. Well, it's been a long time, I've been patient. Me and you together, we could raise a nation. So I'ma draw you out, here's the illustration. I could walk the walk, then you talk the talk. We can walk and just talk. Vibe I report, I wouldn't give a second thought. Link me at the airport. If we're guilty in love, better see me in court. Well, it's a whole mood. If they serve you on a plate for a start of good food. Love the swag, attitude, make a man move smooth. Let's pause for a minute in the cut of the groove. We don't move, just sway. 4 fingers on the neck, in line with the fade. We could dance the old way, like face to face. People saying, who are they?
Lady, how can I resist you, baby? Love the way we fit, and maybe we could just insist it's on. Crazy, if I kept my distance, lazy. If I don't accept the mission, wavy. Setting sail, we could just drift along. Still I can't understand what it is to be with you. Love was never the plan. Knowing it is no issue. Others won't understand. Let their frequency then tune. Goodbye till the sun is gone, and then you're coming home. Rise to the early morn. 'Cause when I'm with you, it feels so warm. All the negative is gone. When I'm with you, we set the tone, and the view is beautiful. When I'm with you, it feels so warm. All the negative is gone. When I'm with you, we set the tone, and the view is beautiful. When I'm with you.
You were just in Europe, eh?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. What brought you out there? What was the happenings? I know you saw Paris.
Yeah, well, I played in Paris, and it was pretty exciting. Well, it was an exciting time to be in Paris because, of course, there's a lot of what's the term they use? They don't call it demonstrating. I think they call it assembly. Basically, they're demonstrating and protesting the changing of the retirement age.
Right.
So in front of my hotel, there was, a couple thousand people one night. There was a 40-foot high fire. And
a lot of garbage too, right?
So they're throwing all the garbage on the street, which I find kind of hilarious. Like, it's their own town. Why would you do that? They're turning over all the garbage cans. So it was an interesting time to be there, that's for sure. And while all this is going on, there's also people like directly adjacent at sidewalk cafes drinking wine and just having a laugh over it. It was,
what's funny is I've been watching the news on that as a teacher. I'm a very pro-union guy, and a lot of the shop owners are totally in favor of the demonstrations. Like, they don't mind. The sanitation workers had not picked up the garbage. Like, no, it's for a good cause, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, man, what a difference. What a difference. Because, especially, being American, and so much of America is like anti-union for whatever reason. It's just such a different climate. I wish our union had the balls to do that kind of stuff when the contract negotiations weren't going well.
Well, look at the federal government walkout. 155,000 people on strike right now. I think this is the biggest strike in history of this country.
It's funny because I'm right about to file my taxes too.
Yeah, me too.
So when you were there, what did you do in terms of musical activities?
Well, I played 2 shows. So I played in Dublin.
Oh, nice.
at the name of the place escapes me right now. The show kept kind of getting juggled around. Are we recording this for the interview, or are we just talking?
I tend to just start and then I pick up at whatever point the conversation seems.
Okay,
you know, that's how the podcast kids do it these days.
Okay. So the place in Dublin was very cool. It was a very busy little room. It was just jammed in there, and the DJ booth is set up on the hood of an old Rolls Royce. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah, the people were having it. So that was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, my friend Steve, who set the whole thing up, was to play after me, and he got 4 tracks into his set, and then the power cut out.
Oh,
yeah. And so from there, I went to Paris and hung out for a few days and got to see the sights and check out the Eiffel Tower and all that kind of fun stuff. Got to see a wonderful Warhol and Basquiat exhibit, Institut Louis Vuitton, which was just exceptional.
Jay-Z just played there for that show.
Ah, well, I must have just missed him because this was a day or two after the opening.
Yeah, he apparently there was like 2 days notice. To, you know, obviously the tickets were snatched up in like 5 minutes.
Well, that's interesting because there was also, it was closed off to us, but there was a small rap event happening that we could see in the basement, like before our assigned ticket time. This would have been Friday the 6th, I think. Yeah, it was at like, 5:30 p.m. So I doubt it was Jay-Z performing, but you never know.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, and then I played in Paris as well at a place called Glazart, which is, I guess, a pretty well-known venue. A few people reached out and mentioned that they played there and loved it, and it was a lot of fun as well. So, yeah, it was a nice, I don't know if I'd call it a tour. I went over and played 2 shows, but lots of fun. And I got to visit 2 places I'd never been before. I'd been to France, but never to Paris, and never been to Ireland, so very cool.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. I haven't been to either, so I'm that's in my near future plans, hopefully. So, musically speaking, I know that you've got a couple of projects that have just come out. Is that correct? Or am I totally?
Yeah. So in February, my latest Metalheads EP called Formless dropped, and that one's done very well. I've had a lot of incredible feedback on it, so I think I must be on the right track musically.
When have you not been on the right track musically, John? Let's be honest.
Let's not get into that right now. Everyone loses their way from time to time. But yeah, and then I also just recently released 2 tracks on my own label, Machinist Music, called Tinkerbell and Coco Vin. And had a lot of nice feedback on those as well.
Coco Vin, well, French, right?
Yes, indeed. That's
see, that works out perfectly.
It's funny timing, but it's actually a tribute to my lady friend who decided to learn about French cuisine and learn how to make a bunch of it. And her first attempt at Coco Vin was out of this world, so it's sort of in honor of that happening.
I actually just watched the Julia Child miniseries, so the Coco Vin was loomed large in her early television career.
I've seen that as well, and I quite liked it.
It was great. It's interesting the way that she portrayed Julia Child. It's funny. She actually didn't sound like Julia Child at all.
No,
it was one of those. I don't want to call it an impression, but it's one of those characterizations that captured the essence of the person without really being very much like it. And I kind of liken it to when Joaquin Phoenix did Johnny Cash. Cash did not look like Johnny Cash. Didn't really sound like Johnny Cash terribly, but he captured the essence of him really well. And I thought she did a really good job of that. I liked it better than Meryl Streep's actually. And I like Meryl Streep's. I grew up watching that with my mom. So I always had a soft spot in my heart for Julia Child. So I went to go, I took my students to Washington DC for a class trip in 2014, and at the Smithsonian, they have Julia Child's kitchen rebuilt inside.
Oh, wow.
You can see the whole thing. It's pretty cool.
Amazing.
I believe that today is the 25th anniversary of if it's not today, it was very recently, of the release of Wormhole by Ed Russian Optical.
Oh, okay.
And interestingly, I have had conversations with a few people here and there about the music that we make throughout our musical careers and how that may or may not change, and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I was actually speaking with Polaris on this, and we talked about one particular artist, and I won't mention the name, just because you never know how they're going to react to this thing. But he happened to say, "Boy, this person must really love that music if they can keep on making those kinds of sounds year in and year out." It's which is not it's not a bad thing, actually. I mean, there are many artists that do the same thing. They
absolutely
study the same technique in and out, and it
I like to say
somewhat.
I like to say about Red Hot Chili Peppers, their album is very good, and they find a new way to keep releasing it over and over.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was reflecting on this idea of how our music evolves or doesn't as time goes on. And I was wondering how you felt about, looking back at your musical career, at the journey that your music has taken, and if there is any kind of intentional exploration that you've been doing in terms of trying to evolve your sound, or are you letting it sort of happen organically?
I mean, I think for me, I got to a stage maybe halfway through my career, if you look at where we are now and where I started. So, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, where I was a fairly skilled producer and I could make just about anything I wanted to. And it was kind of problematic for me because I had to decide what I wanted to do, whereas I wasn't stuck in a rut where I could only make one thing, because I was now able to make just about anything. And it's, you sort of need to impose limitations on yourself in order to get anything done. But I think where I'm at now is sort of like I'm pursuing a sound that I have in my head, and some of it refers to other releases from other artists that have happened before. Like I listen to the Represent album New Forms quite often, and I draw a lot of inspiration from those ideas they were on, but I'm not trying to recreate that or remake that. I'm kind of, using that as a jumping off point, the same way that I used Dillinger's tracks as a jumping off point, 15, 20 years ago. So it's sort of like on a jazzy tip, but for me, it still has that sort of like dark cinematic feel that I'm known for, though I'm actively experimenting with moving away from being dark all the time because it's starting to feel a little boring. But you definitely hear a lot of that on the Formless EP. It's sort of got this, even though all the tracks are kind of different from each other, there's a sort of a cohesive vibe where it's like sort of a dark jazz. Someone told me the EP sounds a lot like the drum and bass version of Miles Davis' Bitches Brew, which is, to me, was a huge compliment.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's I'm sort of pursuing those vibes, but in a drum and bass format, I guess you could say.
Is there anything about the very disposable nature of music, especially in the last 5 to 10 years? Obviously, drum and bass has kind of been characterized by that to a certain extent, especially when the digital revolution happened, and especially when streaming happened, and now streaming numbers carry the day. Is there any kind of reticence on your part when it comes to how your music is going to be remembered or looked at, especially when people rarely take the time to live with music that they find or purchase? No one really purchases music anymore, but because people are now so quick to move on to something else that's new right away.
Yeah.
Does that impact the way you think about your creations going forward, or can you not even be bothered to think about that?
Well, I kind of feel like I'm one of those artists that's lucky enough to have a following that people do. They are willing to invest in it, so they do buy the record when it comes out. They come to the Bandcamp and actually buy the MP3s or the WAV files. You know what I mean? Sure, I have some Spotify numbers, but that's not where the people that are really into my music are engaging with it.
Right.
So I think for me, I'm lucky enough that that's not as much of a problem, but I also don't sit down and make a track in 4 hours like a lot of these disposable tracks. I mean, my promo inbox is just littered with tunes that sounds like someone made them on their phone on the bus with no effort to them whatsoever, like no concern for changing the arrangement up from track to track. I try and move away from that, and I try and distance myself from that idea of music that's completely disposable. I'm at a stage now when I DJ, mainly play my own stuff, some of it new, some of it old. But I'm trying to, present myself as an artist that way. And I want it to be sort of like a body of work that's, unified and in some way, shape, or form, even though it's come out on different labels and stuff like that. There's still a cohesive thread that runs through it, which is, I guess, how you'd characterize my sound.
Do you find that your audience is aging with you, or are there like young ravers coming out or young drum bass fans coming out?
Well, I find like it's a little of both, which is great for me.
Okay.
I threw a release party for the Formless EP here in Calgary, and it was a good mix. There's a lot of people my age, but there was also people in their 20s. My mom was there, my girlfriend's mom was there, so we had a little bit of everyone there, and I think that's great. To be able to reach people of different age groups. It's nice that it's not all, middle-aged dudes, especially,
Yeah, we've definitely had a dude problem in drum and bass for a long time. That is,
we really have,
that is for sure. That is for sure.
And we're definitely trying to work on that, I think, as a genre. But it's been a huge oversight, I think, for all these years. We really needed to get, some female energy involved to try and get away from that room full of shaved head dudes looking angry.
Definitely. We're starting to see now. There's been, I think, a concerted effort, especially in the last 5 years, to really kind of increase the diversity within drum and bass. I think it's been, unfortunately, I think if it had continued any longer, without that kind of effort happening, I think it would just be going the way of the obscure. So that brings to mind, obviously artists at a more advanced stage that have been around the music for a long time have to deal with possibly being considered an anachronism, and being kind of forgotten, even though they have made a lot of the music that like these younger producers draw a lot of their inspiration from. Do you feel like there's anything going forward that you need to do as an artist before all is said and done? Or are you just kind of making music as you go and not really worrying about it?
Well, I definitely haven't ticked all the boxes. I need to do an album. The watermark for me of what I would consider a good album to be is fairly high.
Oh, you've never done an album. That's right.
No, I've done lots and lots and lots of EPs. So
right.
It's time for me to move in that direction. I was getting kind of close about 4 or 5 years ago, and then as often happens in this thing of ours, the tracks get divided up into separate releases and it doesn't really come together. So that's kind of where I'm at. Have
you discussed a possible LP with other labels, or do you think it's something that you'd put out yourself on Machinist?
It really depends. There are some people that I need to have conversations with, so
right.
We'll cross that bridge if and when. But at least I do have that opportunity to do myself, which is the nice thing about having a label.
When you think about possibly putting together a body of work like an album, are there things you'd like to accomplish sonically, structurally with the music that you would specifically not do for a single or for an EP? Is there anything, or is there any non-drum and bass material that you'd be wanting to put on there that you already kind of got in mind?
Yes, kind of all the above. What I'd like to do is explore my sounds at some other tempos, because I have a pretty clearly defined sonic palette of what I sound like, and it's just a matter of applying those. I actually have some material I'm working on that is at other tempos, and I also do have a few. I don't want to show my cards just yet, but I do have a few themes that I want to explore. So the music is kind of about particular things. I have kind of a sketch pad of what themes I feel I need to cover on an album. So it's a matter of completing the tracks and talking about these specific things.
Do you feel like you can adequately express those ideas totally musically, or are you going to have to employ vocalists and such to help push that along?
Well, I do often work with vocalists anyway, and I definitely would be doing that. Some of it will be sampling, archival material and that sort of thing. There's a couple political things I want to touch on, so I've actually done a bunch of the sampling for that already, just talking about different periods of history that I've lived through. But
make drum and bass political again. I like that.
Well. Not so much like taking a stand on something, but just, making
even
mention
the
of
commentary is more than we normally get. So
yeah, well, normally it's just, the track is just called a thing, and then it's just a DJ tool, right?
I'm always interested in when an artist says that they capture a particular idea, a particular theme, and the music is purely instrumental. And it's a little bit like looking at, I think, more of like an abstract painting, and it's up to the listener to decide how it actually fulfills that goal. But it always fascinates me putting out an idea in the form of nothing but sonics, and not necessarily maybe expecting the audience to connect with it that way, but at least
I know what you mean.
Some people do. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It's such an abstract kind of thing.
Well, I find it kind of amusing when you're say you're at an art gallery and you're looking at a bunch of paintings and they're abstract, or photographs for that matter. Because I remember hearing a story years ago about a photographer. He was having a show and they didn't have any titles, so I guess the gallery owner called, and a bunch of people sitting around the table drinking wine just started shouting random phrases at them to name the photos for the exhibit. And it just seems so pretentious. And I do find that quite often with certain things where they purport to be about this, that, or the other, and they really don't evoke that, and they don't communicate it. So I liken that to just being a failed attempt. You know what I mean?
Do you ever trip on your own, like, pretentiousness? Like, you encounter, and you're like, oh, I didn't know you were there. I'm sorry. You stepped into pretentious waters and you didn't realize it. Has that happened to you before?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty aware that I'm pretty pretentious at times, and I try and just call myself out on it before anyone else does, but it definitely doesn't change my behavior.
Well, that's good. You got to stay true to your pretentious self. Yeah, I think all creative people at some point find that, there I am, knee deep in pretentious waters, and they didn't realize that. I think we're blinded by our own creativity sometimes, and I think we think more highly of it than other people do in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
All right, well, look, I really am glad that you took the time to talk to us. I haven't talked to you since our routine poutine conversation.
Yeah, that's a couple years ago already.
I know. I cannot believe how fast time is going by. It's getting a little scary at this point.
Yeah.
Do keep me posted on any future releases. We'd love to have you back to talk about them, especially when that the album project starts to materialize.
Thank you, sir. I definitely will.
Let's make your next donation to CIUT on me. Clayton Book here, broker with PSR Brokerage. And when you buy, sell, or lease your next property with me, I'll donate 5% to CIUT on your behalf. Find out more at movewithclay.com.
From the roots up, CIUT 89.5 FM, Toronto.
Toujours unique, toujours éclectique, toujours coloré. Surfez sur les ondes avec CIUT.FM, le son de votre ville. La collecte de fonds de tonnes est en cours. Rendez-vous en ligne sur CIUT.FM pour faire un don. Nous vous remercions pour votre soutien.
Yo, this is Winslow, and you're listening to Valiant MC on The Prophecy, CIUT 89.5 FM.
Yo, this is David Boomer, and right now you're listening to The Valiant MC on The Prophecy, CIUT 89.5 FM.
Hi, this is John B, and you're listening to The Valiant MC on The Prophecy, CIUT 89.5 FM.
Do you see me still breathing, wondering why we keep on feeling in the stillness, wondering how we got to this moment where my moon rises from around me. I'm living in the outside here, I'm in the sixth dimension, lying so close. In this void, you shine to me. In my body, well, I'm wondering what's real. And if you see me, space ain't empty, means that I'm somewhere
To all the killers and the $100 billers.
Metalheads inside the building. Somebody say yeah!
You're the one, the only one. Holding you, wanting you, touching you, needing you. Holding you, wanting you, holding on. Holding you, wanting you, touching you, needing you.
that's gonna be a little tricky. That's gonna be a little tricky. He's close. He's real close.